G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Cold Waters with Mags, and welcome back aboard the Tambov B448, Commander Jack Kinov in command. So, we're continuing the Russian South China Sea campaign at the moment, and we have received our new orders. So, tactical situation. Intelligence estimates indicate that the enemy commandos will land from submarine in the vicinity of Taipei within the next week. You're ordered to intercept and eliminate them before they land. So we're hunting submarines. As a general rule in Cold Waters, these are likely going to be diesel electrics, Chinese diesel electrics, that are trying to sneak commandos into Taipei. And we've got to hunt them down and sink them. Pretty straightforward. Now, our current loadout status report, what have we got on board at the moment? 4 in the tubes and 7 USET 80s available, so we're pretty good for that. We've got 2 SSN 16s and we've got MOS on board, so we don't need to worry so much. Actually, countermeasures. You know, we're pretty good for those two. So we don't need to worry about resupply, so we're just going to head straight over in this direction, find Taipei, and see whether or not we can intercept ourselves a submarine. So we're basically already in position, and almost the same location we just got the last fleet. So this is likely going to be them. There isn't a huge amount of space for them to go through here. We're in a really good spot to defend. So depth 50 feet, our speed is 5 knots because we're stationary. I'm going to close this one to 15 and go immediately to silent. Now, the main issue here is we are likely to be in the shallows again.
On sonar, new contact bearing. Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Yeah, so once again, we've only got 400 feet to play with. Now, ambient noise in the water, 95 decibels. And Sierra 1.
Sonar, new contact bearing. 047. Designated Sierra 2.
Right, so we have 2 targets. I don't think this is a sub. Sierra 1's not a sub. Maybe it is. Maybe I didn't go back far enough. There. Small cargo ship.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as merchant.
Okay, so not our target. This one is much quieter. Sierra 2, this is our target. Alright, so we've got prominent lines, 3, and the rest is very quiet here. If it's Chinese diesel electric, it's likely relatively new, so it'll be a troll. No, won't be. Normally the Soviet forces use Novembers for this particular mission profile. I'm not entirely sure what the Chinese will be using. Although it's not lining up. Still coming back as a trawler. Well, at the very least, we're at 50 feet here.
Make depth 3-8 feet, dive by.
We are trying to intercept a submarine contact, so I can bring this to the surface and actually just pop the radar, and that'll clear the surface contacts and bring up anything else that we haven't necessarily already found.
Con, dive at 3-8 feet, dive by.
And that will tell us.
Raise the radar mast.
Alright, so we have 4 targets here.
Sonar, Master 2 is classified as merchant.
Freighter, trawler, and cargo ship. That's not good. That's a lot of diesel engines running in this area.
Lower the radar mast.
Hearing likely before we actually hear our submarine. So this is going to take some time. So we're going to drop ourselves to 200 feet.
200 feet, dive by. Right.
And I am going to change our course.
Come left to 339.
Now, the reason I'm doing this is we
high.
need to be at least 200 feet is about the best depth that we've got here. Floor's at 400. Actually, we'll go up one.
Make depth 150 feet, dive
Yeah,
high.
150. We'll see how 150 goes.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 3.
There we go.
5 1.
We've got to be more than
Sierra, 5.
we've got to be 200 feet off the bottom and more than 50 down in order to be able to get the towed array out. So we now have a Sierra
Come
5.
right
And
to
Sierra 5
0 6 5. Helm I.
did not pop up on radar, so that's what I was looking for. So this we'll have a little bit better luck with, I hope. Could be a song. Doesn't look like it's quite lined up there. Ming. Yeah, that's a Ming.
Con sonar, Sierra 5 is classified as submerged submarine.
Alright, so Ming's just looking like a variant on a November. For the most part, 125 diesel quite. Yes, so that makes sense. That would make sense.
Con,
Crew
dive
54.
at 150 feet, dive high.
Now, we've only got a 36% on solution at the moment.
Come left to 0 4 4. Helm I.
Now, I'm just going to let time accelerate for a little bit here and just see whether or not, both to let our solution go up on target, and also just to see if there's anything else that pops up while we're listening. Alright, so it took a little while, but the Ming has just popped up. We've got a full solution, so we can actually see it submerged here, and would you look at this? It is just... we can't actually see it on the 3D view here, but it should be just over here, and it's turning its ass in our direction, so it's giving us its baffles, which is exactly what we want. So torpedo 1 ready, we're going to go active sonar. Just going to let the Ming keep turning. At the moment we have no other contacts except these cargo ships, so I'm thinking this may only be one. Just let it keep turning. There we go.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
There we go. Didn't fire then for a second. Right, so torpedo is away, and I'm going to try and get the torpedo as far away from us, because while this is an older sub, November's it's a 1950s design, so it's an ancient submarine, but it still has modern torpedoes. So when it fires, it's still dangerous. So I want to make sure when it does fire, it's deaf as a post, but will eventually hear once the torpedo gets close enough. So again, want the torpedo coming in from an angle that when it counterfires, and Novembers have a tendency to just empty the mag, essentially, at whatever it detects. So it just unloads all of its torpedo tubes. I think it's got 4 forward facing. So it'll dump 4, or potentially at least 2, potentially up to 4 torpedoes in the direction of whatever it detects. I'm not actually sure what it's doing here, just running a circle to see what it can hear, I imagine. But at the very least, with us sitting in its baffles, it didn't hear the launch transient for the torpedo, which is the loudest part of the launch sequence. And for the moment, the torpedo is relatively quiet. If I can get it up around here, and then turn it in, and we should be good to go. And this top speed of the Ming, yeah, it only does 18 knots, so it's not outrunning this torpedo. This torpedo does 35 to 40 knots once it's activated. Alright, and turning in. Still no reaction from the Ming. In fact, the Ming is continuing to turn towards our torpedo. Ming's maintaining 14 knots as well. So it's actually very close to its maximum speed right now, so it is... yeah, that circuit at that speed would make sense as an evasion, but nothing's attacking it. It would make sense at a much slower speed to listen to what's going on, but at 14 knots, it's not going to hear this. Actually, at 14 knots, I could have just straight driven up to it, parked on its back. But
Con,
I
fire
know
control,
something's going on
weapon
in just a
acquired.
moment.
Con,
Torpedo
sonar,
active and
launch
acquired.
transient from Sierra 5.
And there's the counterfire. And counterfire directly towards our torpedo, because couldn't call that or anything. There'll likely be another torpedo here soon enough. Although it is turning away, it may only just launch the one.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 337.
Noisemaker's out. Manual control.
Con, fire
Just
control,
wiggle
weapon
it a little at
acquired.
the moment. There we go. Torpedo reacquired. Just wiggle it past the detection past the countermeasure. So this is a relatively close engagement, because there we are over there.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 331.
Too late.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 5. Last
Boom.
bearing 330.
Alright, so after action report, the Ming was the only target in the area. 1 shot, 1 kill. We've still got 10 USET 80s available. So we are good to continue on. And that was not our actual mission objective. Exactly the submarine we would have been after, and exactly the situation we would have expected, but it seems like that's not the one. So we have another submarine that's coming down. We need to sit in location. We can do this again. Alright, so round 2. So bearing is 311. 50 feet, 5 knots. Once again, we're close to 15. We'll do status report, make sure we've got all the tubes loaded, because we want to do that, and...
On sonar, new contact bearing.
Rig
Close
shift for
to.
ultra quiet.
Now, we have contact Sierra 1. We are actually going
Make
to
depth
go
3,
back to
8 feet,
periscope
dive
depth.
high.
Same deal as last time. Periscope depth, pop the radar, clear the surface contacts first. We know our target here is a submarine.
Con, dive at 8 feet, dive high.
Raise the radar
Alright.
mast.
Mast up. Alright, so we have a small freighter. Sierra 1 is still looking like the target. It is not picked up by radar, so that pretty much confirms that that is our submarine contact.
Lower the radar mast.
Radar down. Conditions. Let's go to 150 feet again, so we get the total ray out.
Feet, dive high.
Con sonar, master 2 is cavitating.
Okay. Not sure why the freighters decided to cavitate, but anyways. Will be exactly the same. Doesn't look like it's lining up quite right. And then it goes off into DGGs. So yeah, I think it's a Han.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
Alright, Han SSN. 5,500 tons, 25 knots top speed, so a little bit newer this one. Trace sonar, missiles, torpedoes, 75 crew,
Con,
152
dive at
decibels.
0 feet, dive high.
Alright, so range is 13.8 kiluyards. We've got a 63% solution on her already, so we know where she's coming from. It's the ambient noise in the water. Her current speed is 20 knots, so she is not listening for anything at the moment. And we're 93. So I am going to, once again, torpedo 1. We're going to go for active homing once the torpedo goes active. And we're just going to launch
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
straight down our nose. Not going to change the course of the torpedo at all. We're going to get the torpedo ahead of the Han and turn into it. And from its perspective, by the time we get the torpedo into the spot, it'll appear to be coming from the south, so the counterfire should be south. Hopefully we won't get the small freighter killed, but it's quite possible that that small freighter is actually Chinese. Only hostile targets that are military targets get marked in red in this, and we are in the South China Sea. And it is coming from the direction of where mainland China would be, so... It's a little bit longer, and I'll turn the torp north. Alright. Torp north, and we will be going active at the waypoint, and hopefully that'll be close enough that it'll immediately pick up the Han. Any counterfire should be south. It is heading straight towards us though. That is... yeah, that is directly towards us. It shouldn't be able to hear us. Could be a coincidence. Oh, counterfire. 2 tubes emptied. Both at the torpedo, not at us. We're good. And active, so she will now have detected us.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Torpedo acquired.
Con sonar, come right to 349 helm aye.
Course change. Hopefully we don't break the wire.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
And there we go. Weapon has reacquired the Han. It's gone to flank, cavitating. That's its torpedoes coming away, ours coming in. It's actually got quite a turning circle on that one. Current speed 24 knots. So it's basically, yeah, it's nearly at flank at the moment. Actually, that is a really, really tight turning circle. Almost makes me want to give the Han a shot. I'll have to see after I complete this campaign whether or not there is a Chinese campaign. Because that is... it's not a fast sub, but that is turning on a dime.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
There we go. Weapon reacquired. And that should be all she wrote for the
Sonar
Han.
lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 300. Contact breaking up.
Alright, so, after action report, Han sunk, 1 torpedo fired, again, 1 shot, 1 kill. So, that's pretty good so far. Let's see if this one was the actual mission objective. Excellent initiative, but this was not your mission objective. God damn it, that's 2 down. But we did get a bronze star on this one, too. Commander Jack Kanov. Commanding Officer Tambov B448. Commander Jack Kanov was cited for extraordinary heroism in action against enemies of the United States of... Why am I... actually, this is a good point. Why am I getting an American star as a Russian captain? Alright. Continuing on.
Con sonar new contact
Alright,
bearing
2 contacts.
236. Designated Sierra 2.
2 contacts, alright.
Make
Gonna
depth
go to the
3,
surface.
8 feet, dive
Once
high.
again, we'll clear all surface targets using the radar before we start hunting on sonar. So, what are our details here? Conditions. Oh, that's not good.
Con, dive at 3, 8 feet, dive high.
Floor is at 266 feet. And the nearest deep spot's over here. This gives you an idea on how close we are. This is Taiwan, and that is the coast of mainland China. So, 266 feet. We are fighting in a bathtub. 97 decibels in the water. Alright. So, let's pop radar.
Raise the radar mast.
What have we got? Okay, so all 3 contacts that we currently have.
Master 1 is classified as merchant.
Wait, what? The Ming was on the
Sonar
surface?
Master 3 is cavitating.
What the hell was the Ming on the
2-1,
surface for?
Aye, sir.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 3, last bearing 199.
No
Contact
counterfire.
baited.
Set
Make
depth 100.
100 feet, dive high.
Alright, that was unexpected. I was not expecting the Ming to be... That saves me time. I was not expecting that. We have a Ming on the surface. We've just managed to ID and confirm our target. Alright, so anyways, Ming. What is... Shangsu... I'm curious. Ming. Passive and active, Snoopod radar. Alright. Does have. So it's possible, although it didn't fire on us, but it's possible it could potentially have picked up.
Make depth 50 feet, dive high.
A bit shallower. I need to get to about 60 feet. Then I should be able to get the towed array out. But it's possible at the very least... 76, 75 feet, level the planes. It's possible that it could have picked up the radar pulse, although it didn't fire on us. It didn't fire. But it did appear to disappear while we still had the radar up. So it may have dove. It may have just been coasting on the surface, and then it dove. The second it detected, it may not have actually got our location. Yeah, 97 decibels in the water. If it had fired torpedoes, we would have heard the transient. U5 torpedoes. It's 18 knots. So it's a knockoff November. Alright. No matter. Okay, well that saves us trying to find it on sonar anyway. So torpedo... turn? I'll still keep it just running on the wire in quiet mode for the moment. If we need to drop a second torpedo, I'm actually going to have a look at that. We will use that one. That's our rocket-propelled torpedo. We'll drop one directly on top of its head. No wire guidance on those, of course. They can be a little bit buggy. I've tried using them before, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. They only work against submarines, though, I discovered. I was trying to use them against surface targets at one point, trying to work out why they wouldn't work. They're set up to only be deployable against submarines, which is actually kind of sucks. Otherwise, it would be really nice to be able to deploy a torpedo against a ship via rocket, but no, you can't do that. Only anti-ship missiles for that job. Right. We can't hear it still. 125 decibel, 97 ambient. Yeah, so a little over 25 decibel difference. Or 28 decibel difference, of course, between ambient noise and what we've actually got. So we've only got a fairly limited range to be able to pick this up. And the body of the Victor 3 is currently in between it and the towed array. Assuming we've got the towed array out at this depth. Actually, I think we might actually be a little bit too deep still, so we'll go 10 degrees up on planes. Get us to about 65, and then we should hopefully go to 5 degrees on planes. 67.
Fire control, weapon acquired.
Level planes. 64, okay. So we're under 50, above 65, or above 66. There's the counter shot.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 3 bearing.
We now have the Ming.
4.
Now I'm just going to do a shallow
Right
turn
two,
right.
two,
That should bring the
6,
tone array
1,
into alignment, so
L9.
we should be able to keep the Ming even when if the torpedo loses it. Counter shots against the torpedo and not against us, so it's pretty sure it didn't detect us, or it may have detected it got picked up by radar, but it didn't detect the actual location or the emission point for the radar. This has to be the target. You know what, just looking at it, I know this is like a 50s boat that's converted, but let's be perfectly honest here. This would be really interesting to see a full silent service or a silent hunter type
Noisemaker bearing.
Noisemaker out.
192.
Get the torpedo back on track. But like a full silent hunter style subsim in one of these, the 1950s,
Fire control, weapon acquired.
like 1950s era, you know, post World War II
Con
submarines.
sonar lost
Boom.
contact. Master 3 last bearing 191. Contact breaking up.
Down she goes. Mission update. Excellent performance locating and eliminating enemy submarines transporting Chinese commandos. Await new orders. There we go. We finally got it. We got the one. Only took 3 subs being sunk in order to actually get the correct one, but we got the correct one. Alright, anyways, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. Cold Waters will be returning to the channel very soon. I'm going to be trying to put out these fairly regularly. And until next time, remember to click that like button if you did, share and subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, take care.